Welcome back to another edition of Relative Talk. I'm your host, John LaLoggia. I am with Frank Williams is my guest today. Frank, how you doing?
I'm well, John. Thank you.
You've been wanting to come on for a long time.
I hear I've
But,
been wanted to come on as well.
but you had a lot of technical difficulties, no?
I don't open a personal computer often.
What does that say about you that you don't open a personal computer often? Does that mean that you're working all the time?
I open a work computer often.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, there's a couple things I want to talk about. You have a background in construction management. You're a certified wing master at B-Dubs. You started your own business, Frank's Beef. So you're a jack of all trades. Okay, master of none, you might say. We also went to the Dave Matthews Band concert last weekend, which was a blast. And I want to talk a little bit about lawn seats versus actual seats. Now, this was your first time sitting in actual seats, like in the pavilion, versus being out on the lawn. So what were your impressions of the actual seats? Because we were much closer to the stage than we would have been on the lawn. But I just want to get your take on your ideology on lawn versus actual seats at a live outdoor concert.
Well, we're talking Dave Matthews specifically, outdoor Dave Matthews. So I've never seen him up close. I've only seen him from a distance on video.
Mm-hmm.
I like the atmosphere of the lawn area, if you will. It seems a little bit more relaxed. I can say that for certain now because there seems to be a whole wide range of people that sit in the seats.
What does that mean? What did you not like about the people that were sitting around us? Be specific.
Maybe the 12-year-old that was a few seats ahead of us.
So what? You bring your kid to Dave Matthews Band, you sign up.
Throughout like half the show.
You sign up for that. Who brings their kid to a Dave Matthews Band?
Weird. He got a little weird.
He wasn't weird. He was fine.
My kids would be a lot cooler.
You would take your kids out on the lawn?
I would take Sal on pretty much to any show.
What did you not like about the people around the seats? Because you had a disdain for them. Also, you felt confined. You said that about 100 times.
Well, I could not dance to the degree that I wanted to.
How much space do you need to do the type of dancing? Because you had significant space to do dancing.
The seats were pretty close together. We were pretty tight together with people.
Yeah, we were. But you did have... How much space do you need to dance?
I'm confined in a box, John. You wouldn't understand because I'm a dancing machine.
Okay. So you need a lot of dancing.
I need a lot of space, like 10 by 10 area, maybe 10-foot radius, if you will.
Okay. This was a lot smaller than that.
By magnitudes, yeah.
Okay. All right. Significant magnitudes. I want to talk about Frank's Beef. So you started your own company, Frank's Beef. I still can't find the logo on Facebook. Trust me, I'm going to find it. If you have that anywhere on some old computer, please get me
that logo. I might have
it
literally in the background right now. I can look for it.
Dude, can you look for it right now? That would be worth doing this podcast if you could find the original logo of Frank's Beef, and for the love of God, send it to me. While you're looking for the logo, explain to the listeners your background in entrepreneurship.
I moved to Houston, Texas for a job.
What time was this? Give me years, give me dates.
This would have been going into the year of 2013.
Okay.
Right after college, I'd gotten a job with Harmon Glass. They're a curtain wall subcontractor, which nobody's really going to understand. But it was a really cool job because I got to work on towers, and I love vertical build. So it's not looking good, Johnny.
Talk while you're looking for it.
Oh, no, I know where it is. It's on an external hard drive.
Of course it is.
It's in the other room.
I'm sure. It's fine.
Not on this computer. But it's on.
Okay. Well, maybe after the pod, you can plug that in and send it to
We'll
me.
see. We'll see.
I'm never getting that logo. But all right, so continue. Frank's beef.
So I moved to Houston, Texas. Turns out my buddy Jake Ellis, who is still living down there and just had his first child with his wife Liz.
Congrats.
Yes,
Big
beautiful.
listeners of the pod. Big listeners, the Gallus family.
I think they're going to start now. Yep, I think you're right.
Oh no, they're already listening. There's a
Uh,
lot of people that listen to this pod.
a wide-ranging clientele of viewers too. As
Well,
much as
yeah, I mean
much as subjects that we talk about.
that's what I'm saying. That's what the podcast is for.
I'm sure. So we were living in Houston together. We went to high school. We were living in Houston together. And we're kind of sick of our day jobs. Construction can be kind of miserable for a lot of people. And it was for me. So we decided to bring a little of Chicago spice to Houston. Obviously, because Houston needs it. If you've ever been there, I don't know if you have.
I have not.
Well, you should go. It's quite the city, quite fun, but it needed a little spice, Chicago spice. So we decided to bring Chicago style Italian beef, more or less stolen off of what Portillo's is.
So you basically ripped off Portillo's, is what you're saying?
No. We used Portillo's to structure what we were doing.
Okay.
So
Sounds like stealing, but okay.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's closely related. It's kind of like you and I are cousins, but we don't come from, the same family, if you
I
will.
see. Okay, I guess it's okay now. You can continue.
So we're like long distance cousins. Um, so we wanted to bring Italian beef down to Houston. We got an LLC. Got with a Houston Beer Festival as a vendor and started selling some Italian beef to the Houstonites of Houston. First showing, we sold out within 2 days. It was amazing. Met a ton of people. Just a really fun time. Very busy, but we made a touch of money, which was kind of nice. From there, we started getting some pretty big heads on us and thinking, started scaling this thing pretty large. So we decided to go to the Great Texas Mosquito Festival in the southern part of Texas, the banks of the Gulf, where a lot of mosquitoes tend to be. Some would say the people that live there are the mosquitoes. So we decided to do that as vendors.
Wait, what does that mean? The people are the mosquitoes. Explain that.
Use your imagination.
Okay.
Use your imagination.
Okay. Continue.
Are they always wanted? No. But are they necessary? Sure.
I don't want to edit this pod, so just keep going. I'm not doing any editing, so just keep going. I'm going to try to stray away from possible landmines here. All right, so you go to this. So you go to this event from Frank's Beef that you've been doing for a couple weeks.
Actually, for about a year now. At this point.
So what are you cooking?
We're cooking Italian beef, freezing it in freezers, and then taking it to these events. We would cook it about a week in advance.
So it's just straight Italian beef. That's it.
Italian beef. We tried French fries at the Houston Beer Festival. It was very tough. So
why are French fries tough?
Electric power is never very good.
What about a generator? Did you think about that?
Okay, so those are business costs, and those are expensive business costs.
Yeah, I know, but if you're serious about this, I mean, you guys are trying to scale.
This was the first event. We weren't trying to scale yet. After the first event, we were trying to scale.
Okay, so generators maybe later.
Well, I mean, we were going to say what the Great Texas Mosquito Festival is going to bring.
Yeah, but the people there just didn't. It wasn't
They,
happening, right?
they, no. We had this one lady. We're all from Chicago here, right? That mostly listen to this podcast. Maybe, right?
We have a
Maybe.
wide variety of audiences. Okay, there's plenty of people internationally that listen to this podcast. It's growing exponentially every day.
Well, this isn't going to hit with everybody then. So we had
It's
this
okay.
one lady come up. We had this one lady come up to us, and I was kind of the face man of the business. Jake Ellis was he had to stay in the back. He wasn't the greatest with clientele all the time.
But you were the face man of the business.
Of
This is what you
course.
said.
Do you
Got
see
it.
this? Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. So I am asking people what they think about it, trying to get ideas. We even started putting mozzarella cheese and mustard on this, and people were eating it. Yeah, not a lot.
You're putting
Yeah, no,
mustard
no,
on
no, we
mozzarella
allowed
cheese.
it. We allowed it as condiments. Put it out. Hey, do you guys want this? Jardiniere is obviously the way to go because we had that, which we imported from Chicago.
Did you import that from Portillo's?
No, we bought it from some guy that was selling it off of eBay.
Some guy who used to work at Portillo's.
Amazing.
By the way, I have to do a couple of ad reads. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your story. This podcast is sponsored by Portillo's and also the book "Shitty Jobs: The Guide to Surviving the Recession." Wonderful book. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, anywhere you get books. Check it out. All right,
Uh,
continue.
I also have to put a plug in. Everybody needs to look at EloiseTakesOnTheWorld.com. It's a foundation for some friends. Take a look at the podcast or at the website after this podcast.
Yeah,
It's for a
we're getting.
foundation for a lovely little girl. Check it
Yes,
out. My plug, EloiseTakesOnTheWorld.com.
great.
Take a
And
look.
then later we're gonna promote Chai Daddy Smoke, but we're gonna talk about that later. So let's get through Frank's beef because this is taking a lot longer than I thought. So
We're
you're cooking
proud as
Italian
hell.
beef. You're doing this for about a year, right? Okay. You go to Mosquito Fest. Not too fond of the clientele. You're the face man, as you pointed out verbatim. And so you're kind of mingling, making deals, meeting
No,
with
meet
other
the people, just
vendors.
understanding how the people are enjoying the flavors of our beef.
Right. So you're selling a lot of beef, right?
Not here, not at this great Texas Mosquito Festival. It's hit or miss. All right, it's hit or miss. We're selling some.
What do you think the reasons were that you didn't really sell a lot at this festival?
Most people ask for beef on a stick. They wanted to eat stuff on a stick. That's not. That's not a joke. We had multiple people say, "Do you sell it on a stick?" And we said, "No, we
Was
sell
this
it
was
with
this
bread
a
as a sandwich. It's way
was this
better."
a beef on a stick convention?
No, that's just what they. This is what they wanted down there.
Okay.
So
All
then
right.
this
So
lady comes up to us,
okay.
and she states to me that she doesn't think that the beef with the au jus on it is salty enough. And she says this with a southern twang, whatever you want to call it.
And
Very
you
high
took
on.
offense and you took offense to this, and I'm assuming you
Would,
took her
would
down via
would
pile
you
driver.
would you not? I mean, I had to have Jake Gallus step in on this one.
Did you
That
put
felt
her? Did you put her in a figure four? Make her tap out.
with my mind, yes.
So how did you do that with your mind?
Basically told her that it's beef bouillon in water. So I don't know what she's talking about. How it could not be salty enough.
All right. So we don't like
No,
this woman.
do you know what beef bouillon is?
No.
It's a concentrated beef seasoning that they use for like stock. So if you want to season water to taste like beef, you'll use this because it's very concentrated.
I'm
Salt,
interested in I'm interested in what you learned at Buffalo
flavor.
Wild Wings as a certified wing master. What did you learn from there that you took to Frank's Beef?
Again,
What lessons?
a lot of everything. Know your clientele. Know who's coming in. Know who wants to eat your food.
For example, like the Mosquito Fest, you really weren't prepared for the clientele.
No,
These mosquito people wanted beef on a stick. That's not what you were selling.
they are buzzing around quickly, man. They want to be on the go. They can't be eating a sandwich.
Eating,
They need it on a
eating,
stick.
eating food on a stick. I get it.
Makes sense.
But you should have known that going into
You know
this.
what?
So why
You're
didn't
right.
you have your Italian beef sandwiches? Also, a couple options. Hey, here's some Italian beef on a stick. Why weren't you
It's
prepared?
funny. There were some New Jersey guys that were selling small smash burgers that were delicious. We did some food swaps with them, and they did the exact same. Like they did not sell well. It was horrible for them. In addition,
So you guys, okay? So this was not a successful first run. Tell me about a successful run that you had.
it was the Houston Beer Fest, the first one. That was it.
Oh,
Those
okay.
are, those are
So,
the two events, and then we liquidated the company.
oh, okay. So Frank's Beef was only around for a year, and then you liquidated the company.
Yeah, man. So funny thing, you don't pay income tax in Texas, but businesses pay something called a franchise tax.
Hmm.
I'm still totally uncertain what it was, but it was stupid expensive.
Did you pay it?
No, no, we liquidated.
So basically, the franchise tag forced you to liquidate the company.
After the first year, they're like, "Hey, you got to pay this franchise tax." Oh, no, no, no! I cannot afford a franchise tax.
Okay. All right. So tell the people right now what you're doing with Chai Daddy Smoke. Check it out at Chai Daddy Smoke at Instagram.
Instagram, it is a personal Instagram account of my
Well,
beef.
but also a business account, right? Chai Daddy Smoke.
Well, we're seeing how the people like the beef,
I see.
or the pork at this point. I
Right.
did a
If
turkey shoulder as well.
if you need some help with your social media marketing, because I know
Breast,
that's your only way of marketing, I might be able to help you. I have a little bit of background in that. If you're interested.
really?
Yeah, I already offered my services to you, but I was turned down.
I was unaware of your expertise.
I told you my background. I think you're aware of that. I said, "Hey, Frank, I have a couple ideas to promote Chai Daddy Smoke. May want to think about it this way." And then you said, "I don't want to hear any of your ideas." And that was the end of the conversation. Frankly, I was a little insulted.
I did just have two children.
Yeah, but you didn't have to talk to me in that way. I was just trying to help you. I was trying to offer my professional expertise to try to help you get Chai Daddy Smoke off the ground,
Yeah, thank you, but I had two children at home at that point.
which you still do.
Do you understand how my children came home from the hospital?
I understand. I trust me. If anyone understands children in the hospital, I understand it. I get
Tell
it.
your viewers that this podcast just turned into about a 7 hour thing. We're going all night.
All
Thank
right,
God.
so Chai Daddy Smoke, you got a smoker, right?
I did. My brother-in-law Steve actually gave me his smoker.
So
Uh,
you've been doing
uh,
so I think was this last summer you did a basically you did a cookout for the whole family. I don't remember when this was, but you cooked a bunch of different meats and then you kind of used us as guinea pigs to try it out,
I
right?
did. I
When
did.
was that?
I don't remember when that was.
Was it
That
last
was
summer?
that was not last summer. That was
Was it
maybe the
sometime in the winter?
winter. Yeah, I think it was this
Okay,
winter.
so maybe sometime in the winter. But you had us all over your parents' house, and you cooked us a bunch of meat, and that was like your first trial run
It was
to
my
get
first
Chai
trial
Daddy Smoke.
run of a bunch of different types of meat. So we slaughter our own pigs, we slaughter our own cows.
Who's we?
My family, my in-laws, and
Oh,
myself.
okay.
Sorry. Do you want to be a part of it?
No, it's fine. I
Okay,
also want to know if you could get, if it's possible, if you could get closer to the camera. Is that
sure.
possible? That's perfect. Um, I want to, you talked about being in Texas for a little bit. I want to talk about that one story that you told me where it was like August or July, and the air conditioning broke, and they couldn't come out
Mm,
to fix it until the next day. And so, for you to get through the night, you and your buddies just got absolutely shit faced and
hammered.
drank like 30 beers. Can you tell that story, please?
Oh, that was like, well, it was 24 apiece. We each
Okay,
brought,
so everyone drank their own case.
we each drank our own case that night to fall asleep. Middle of Texas summer. It was 89 outside and it was 91 in the house.
Yeah, that's hot.
Degrees
That's
Fahrenheit
hot. Yeah.
for the international viewers here.
Okay.
So we're talking miserable. Okay. My house was miserable. In addition,
And
we're
you
in
don't like being hot.
fucking Texas and there's cockroaches all over the place, and they enjoy the heat. They don't like the cold, so they'll stay
I didn't
away
know
from
there
it.
was cockroaches in your apartment.
Oh, there's big cockroaches, and they would run all over the place. Ooh. Sometimes while you're sleeping, and it gets wild.
Oh my god.
So we had to drink ourselves to slumber. I ended up waking up at a solid 4 a.m. just in a pure sweat. Decided to go to the gym and just work out for just a hot second and just take a really nice cold shower at the gym and just kind of just stay away because the gym was actually air conditioned. It was nice there.
Nice.
That was probably the worst night. Well, I have two kids, so I can't say that. It was one of the worst nights of my life.
Seems like the kids. So you're saying the kids rival one of the worst nights of your life?
Nights? Oh, yeah, dude. Sal will throw you around and chew you up.
What's one of the most difficult nights you ever had as a father,
Mm.
excluding hospital visits?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would have been about a month and a half ago. Yeah, Lewis was looking and acting sick. My oldest, about 3 years old.
When your kids are sick, it's the worst,
It's the
dude.
worst.
It's the worst.
It's horrible. You feel so bad for them, and they're miserable as well,
And then they don't sleep, and then you don't sleep.
at all.
All
And this
right,
has been
all
going on
right.
for a few days. So Abby's like, "I'm taking him to the doctor. I think he has strep. We're gonna go get checked out." Yep, you gotta go. So Sal and I stay at home. Everybody goes to bed, and then Abby and Lou leave. So everybody's in bed. And maybe 30 minutes after Abby and Lou leave, Sal wakes up like maybe a bomb went off, possibly in near Hiroshima, right? Like nuclear, just something just major happened in the world.
Uh huh.
Woke up and would not go back to bed until mom got home with
Yeah,
Lou at 3 a.m.
that's tough. What about some of your favorite, most best memories as a father?
Mm, the moments where they start playing with each other.
Why?
Uh,
So you get a break?
no, I just love seeing them become friends. I think that's the neatest part of being a dad is seeing my children build a relationship of their own.
That's cool.
I want to foster that relationship for them. Like, like if you guys need to go do something to have that relationship, then I'll help you do that.
Cool. All right, this is the last thing, and then I'll let you go because I know you're a busy man, and I know you got
Have
two
we even done
kids.
an hour yet? Tell me. Wait,
No, we haven't done an hour yet.
we've
This
done
doesn't have to be
23
an hour.
minutes.
No, this doesn't have to be an hour.
My
I want
brother
to talk
did an
about the
hour.
time.
I want
What
to do an
about?
hour.
Okay, but then you better have other talking points. I want to talk about the time. So you're talking about one of the worst times. One of the most worst times of my life was doing improv with you, and we were in Phoenix, Arizona, your brother's bachelor party, which was awesome. And then I looked up; it was called the Torch Theater, that night, that Friday night, they were doing like a midnight improv jam session. And I was like, I'll go. Like I'll just get up there. It's like a mashup with a couple other improvisers, and you
Make
get
some
up and you do
fun.
it. And I did, and I got up and I did it, and it was really fun,
You
and it
did
had a
pretty
couple
good.
good
Yeah,
scenes.
you did.
And then that was it. And then I thought, okay, that's it. We go home. And then they said, hold on, if is anyone in the crowd, which was about like four people, and I think all of them were our cousins at that point because it was like 1 a.m. They're like, does anyone else want to do improv? And you're like, yeah, I'll do it. So then it's you and me up there,
Like two or three
and
other guys.
with like I don't know 9 audience members, half of them being our family, and someone gives a suggestion and we start doing improv. By the way, you don't know how to do it. So
You sure?
at no, so I'm trying to set up scenes, and you don't know what you're doing. And we did like a 3 minute scene, which felt like maybe an hour.
It
I
did.
talked the entire time. You didn't do anything. You didn't talk. All you did was just go like this.
I have seen multiple people in your improv groups, including you, that have sat in the background for a long while trying to figure out something that's funny. Okay?
Yeah,
And
but we were the
I
only two people in the scene.
figure
I'm a part of an ensemble of like
I'm sorry
nine
that
or
you're the
eight.
fucking expert here and that you got a
And
fucking
then eventually I did come in the
deal.
scene with something.
And so did I.
No, you didn't say a word for the entire scene.
I came in at the end, okay?
No,
I,
you didn't. That was one of the worst times of my life doing improv with you. It was very awkward. I was doing a lot of heavy lifting. You offered nothing. So it was just a very difficult time in my life.
I understand. What about my bachelor party?
That was also one of the most difficult times of my life. I talked about that with Nick.
I heard. I
That was.
literally listened to that
Did you have a
episode.
good time at your bachelor party?
I'm a little upset that he got to do an hour and I didn't. That's what I'm upset
He
about.
also did a podcast before we did one today.
What?
He did another podcast with me earlier today.
For what?
We talked about a couple shows and other things.
If you edit any of this out, I don't consent to it going on the
The
air.
reason we're doing this so late is because I was like, your brother will kill me if I release your episode before him. I gotta get him on this fucking podcast or he'll
Sure.
lose his mind.
That's true.
Uh,
So am I gonna be at before Nick?
no, I already released his. I couldn't wait. I launched him. But you're gonna be episode 6.
You may have a problem with waiting for things.
Listen, Nick is a great guest.
I understand
However,
that, but we were
hold on a second. His
we
best asset is his. I told Zach this. His best asset is his availability. Nick can just hop on a pod.
that is
No one else can. You and Zach are like always inaccessible. You guys are always busy. I get it. You have 2 kids. I get it. He has 3 kids. But you know who also has 3 kids? Your brother Nick.
Let's dive into this for a little bit. Okay.
Let's not, because it doesn't matter. You're on the pod. He's been on there twice. It's not a big deal. It's okay.
Let's dive into that.
Wait, I want to talk about Ribfest
Coming up or previous?
coming up. Do you have something good? Because Nick said he is going to be involved in your family's recipe.
Technically, my favorite Rib Fest was 2016 with you, and who were we with?
How do you remember that?
It was amazing. We saw Doobie Brothers.
Oh yeah, that was really fun. That was a good time.
Amazing.
That was
amazing.
awesome.
It was.
So what is the key to good ribs in your opinion? Being a certified wing master and
Well-
your extensive experience in working in beef.
You got to know who's eating them. You got to know your
Okay,
clients.
so your family's eating them.
Beef,
You know who's eating
We're
them.
going pork. That's the biggest question right now. We're going
Yeah,
beef. We're going
yeah.
pork.
Okay, you're going pork.
We're going pork.
Yeah,
So-
isn't that what everyone cooks at Ribfest?
Sometimes they have done beef before.
Okay, what are you guys doing?
I have no idea. I'm not doing them.
Nick's
My
doing
mom's
it.
doing 'em.
Yeah, but Nick's
No,
going to be
he's
heavily
not.
involved. He told me he's going to be involved.
What are you thinking?
He told me that. He said, I'm going to be involved in making that with my
Huh?
parents.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
I mean, it's on the pod. I mean, you can listen to it right now. It's live on YouTube.
We'll do
and
a live
Spotify.
update while we're there.
I told them this too. You know what I honestly thought about doing? And my parents are going to hate this. And my wife. Definitely my wife. To do a live podcast during Ribfest on my parents' deck and just have people come on. Like, I'll be hosting it, and then people gradually come on and just be like guests, come in from the pool or whatever.
You should definitely do that.
I thought about it.
Myself
But then,
will be some of the guests.
yeah, of course. Well, our whole family will be the guests. I mean, it's going to be over 70 people there.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Should I do it?
I think you should.
I know, but then I miss out on Ribfest because I'm hosting this stupid podcast.
I mean, how many people do you really want to reach? I mean, how dedicated are you to the pod?
One, I'm dedicated, but also, I mean,
No, I,
the
most dedicated
listeners, dude, you should see,
question.
dude. I
Joe
am
Rogan does pot.
I am inundated with people being like, when are you going to do another one? Millions of
Mhm.
people are
Yeah,
begging me to
I
do
know.
more and more of these pods. I'm just trying to give the people what they want. I'm
I get
not that super into it, quite honestly.
you're not.
There's plenty of other things I could be doing, but
That may,
I choose to do this. It's not for me; it's for the listeners. I got to
that
give them what they want.
that may show a little bit.
What?
That may show a little bit. Sorry, sorry.
I'm
Anywho,
watching. I'm looking at you, but also my son on the monitor.
I think my son went to bed. Dave Matthews, best song.
41, which he did not play in the encore.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He
Wait. Speaking of Dave, so after we're leaving the concert, I am complaining excessively that he did not play 41 or Two Step, two of my favorite Dave Matthews Band songs. And I'm like, this is criminal. Like, I should be in charge of the set list.
you
Like, they
should.
should make me in charge. So I'm like complaining to you, and I'm really upset about it because I was waiting for 41. I knew the set list from the night before, Friday night, which he didn't play it. And then some woman overheard me, and she felt really bad for me, and she gave me this.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and you got one too.
I don't know where mine is.
Dude, what is wrong with you? It's a
Uh,
sweet sticker. I don't know where to put it.
Throwing just one last plug. I do have an EloiseTakesOnTheWorld.com sticker though,
Yeah,
from
I have one of those too.
the cookout that we went to prior to the Dave Matthews show.
Yes, absolutely.
Eloise Heavy, I love you.
All right, let's end it there. Thanks for hopping on the pod, buddy.
I love you. Thank you for having me.
It's been an honor.
Dave Matthews was a blast.
It was a great time. I'm
We
glad you got your own shower. You can thank my wife for that.
went to. Thank you, Alex,
Dude,
for a wonderful night.
Speaking
I'm
of that,
sorry for the amount of snacks that we ate from
okay.
the room.
So this is what I want to talk to you about. So I'm on my phone. So I got paid today for work, but I'm looking at my credit card, and it's got that $125 charge, the hold on it. And
Sure.
so I'm waiting for that to fall off and then to be charged for the snacks. No charge for the snacks. They comp that. Nothing. I know. So you gave me $40 for nothing. But I will make it up to you because I
will.
had you on the podcast. So
Well,
it all works out. Win-win.
okay. Okay, I don't know about that.
I do. Because this is reaching millions of people.
Is it?
The Portillo audience, the
Mhm.
Shitty Jobs audience, which is
Big,
massive.
big.
Too big. I'll say too big.
Can I be honest?
That's why we're doing this.
I have not read that book yet.
I'm not surprised.
Hey, have you done an
That's
audio
okay. It only came out 2 years ago.
Have you done an audio version of it yet? I'm huge into audio.
Is that because you can't read?
Well, my commute is an hour and 15 minutes minimum one way.
That's a long commute.
So,
But this book has been out for over 2 years.
Well, then you
Also,
should
it's
have
not very
audio
long.
to it by now, right? As most books do, I would assume.
Yeah, but this isn't some regular book from some unknown author. This is a book written by one of the people that are most
Jordan Peterson
closest to you.
does his own voice for his own books. Okay.
I understand.
Wow.
Are you giving me tips on my book? It's been out for 2 years and you haven't read it. That's saying something.
But I could have listened to it.
Yeah, you also could have read it, and you chose not to.
For the last 2 years, I had babies. I don't know what you're asking.
Dude, you can't keep using your kids as an excuse. Do you know how tired and stressed I am of my son? And I'm doing this and a bunch of other stuff. It's no excuse. You can read that book. It is not that long.
Take that and times it by 2.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I have one kid with an IEP and another one that came home with a feeding tube.
Yeah, well, my kid's gonna come home with that too. So
It's
eventually,
fun. It's fun.
no, it's
It
not.
is. You know what my favorite part is? Is placing a feeding tube in a baby.
God, I am not looking forward to that.
There's a specific path that you have to take.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. Well, trust me, I'm sure I'll get really good at it and I'll figure it out. But I don't want to talk about it.
Down the nasal passage, but I'll digress.
Yeah,
I'll
thank you.
digress. Uh, so, can you just explain real quick to the viewers about the Brooklyn and your huge, long, fandom of them? The,
Well, full disclosure, this is a Brooklyn Dodger hat. The Dodgers played in Brooklyn before they moved to Los Angeles. I got this hat while I lived in Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles from 2017 to 2019, so for about 2 years. And while I was there, it was Jackie Robinson night, and he
I know
was
him.
the first African
Black,
American player to play in the major leagues. And so what you
black.
don't see, it's a Brooklyn Dodger hat. I got this in LA, but the back
Oh, wow, John.
is a 42 commemoration.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty dope.
That is a very dope hat.
I know.
I wish I could have that.
It's awesome. So that's the background on the hat.
Could I have that hat?
I don't know if you can pull it off. You're wearing a Colorado Rockies hat, which
Yeah.
you
Well,
are
it's
not a
also
fan of.
baseball, though.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Check that out. How cool is that?
are you a Rockies fan?
Huge. I've been to games
Where'd you get that, Denver?
at the stadium.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys went to a game.
I've been to games. Yes.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
Cool, man. Well, we're going to wrap up. Thank you for coming on the pod.
Yeah, well, we're
been-
almost at an hour, but
Why we don't listen, you don't have to force it. It doesn't have to be an hour because
dude,
your brother did an hour.
We could literally go into the morning with this.
Technically,
talking
your
about?
brother and I did 2 hours, but who's counting? We didn't do 2 hours today, so
I'm just gonna start talking now. So we're not gonna stop. We're gonna continue this.
dude,
Alex,
I can stop
sorry,
this whenever I want. I'm hosting this podcast.
but the baby is asleep, and we're just fine. So Dave Matthews.
Yeah, but think about the listeners. They really want to just talk. Like, we have to give them good content. That's the whole point of this thing.
I mean, that's why I'm here.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're out of content, then we got to wrap this up.
I'm never out of stuff to talk about, though.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I was going to continue with Dave Matthews, but do you want to, pivot maybe over to, I don't know, your favorite sports team?
Is this a podcast of our favorite things? Is that your idea of a podcast?
It's a wide-ranging amount of topics that we talk about, so.
That's true. That's true. I've talked about a lot. People know my favorite stuff. You can also see it in my background.
It's kind of blurry.
Really? It seems pretty clear.
It might be the service. I don't know.
All right, buddy. Thanks for hopping on. This has been great.
You.
I love you.
Thank you.
Give my love to the family. Thanks
Hopefully
for coming
we'll
on.
do it again soon and Ribfest with the boys.
We'll do it live.
With the boys.
That could go off the rails pretty quick.
Dude, with the boys.
All right, maybe with the boys.
Back there with the boy. Oh.
He said he's not coming. Or he said TBD, but he also said it in that tone where I have no confidence that he's coming.
I'll talk to him. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to him.
Okay, cool. Well, you are the face man, so.
Well, in a lot of different ways.
Indeed. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
John, I love you, buddy.
I love you, buddy.
Goodbye.
Peace.